All right, what is up, YouTube? Welcome to the video. A little crisp day out today, but give me a fun one today. We got a double session, so I'm at the field, as you can tell, gonna rip some sprints, and then a couple hours later, we get a fat, juicy chest pump. So this might be the most ideal, most fun day of training. You get to sprint fast, which is fun as hell to do, and then you get to get a sick chest, shoulder, tricep pump. Sign me up, boys. Sign me up. So that's what we got today. A little double whammy. So it's like 7:30. Gonna rip these sprints. Gonna do more of an acceleration focus, which I'll explain throughout. So some shorter sprints, probably like 10 to 30 yard range. Do some jumps as well, and then get a sick, nasty chest pump in. I know I've been recording many sprint workouts recently, but I'm still sprinting twice a week. Just haven't shown them as much. But definitely want to go through this, kind of the normal structure I go through. I do the same warm up every time that I think helps. It takes like 15 minutes, but really kind of progressively eases you from like nothing into sprinting rather than just like doing a couple stretches and then starting to sprint. This rapidly like ramps you up. So then by the time you're done with the warm up, you're essentially already sprinting, you're into the sprint. So that's what we got today. Sun's popping out. We got cold weather now, so we can pop on a nice fit. So yeah, let's get rolling. All right, boys, so usually I always start with some stretches. So I just did those, like our reverse lunge and reach, lateral lunges, high kicks, quad pulls. I just go 10 or 15 yards of each. Now we'll get into the real stuff, kind of the speed work real quick. Fit-wise, now it's getting cold out, start wearing other stuff. But here, these have been my favorite sweatshirts lately. They're from Gymshark. They're the zip down, the power. I don't know if you see in the back, but it says Gymshark, kind of like a jersey almost. And then the Crest joggers. These ones are super nice, cuffed at the bottom. I wear a large in both. But honestly, after the stretches, I'm already pretty warmed up. But we'll get into kind of the main stuff, or we'll get into like the start of the speed work. So here, what I always do prior to sprint, I always go switches. So I go single switches, double switches, triple switches, and I'll go 2 of each. So really emphasizing driving my knee to my hip height and then pushing under my hip. So a lot of the times what I want to avoid is coming here and then like almost like catching up to it. You don't want to be like running with it. You want to be here actively like pushing under the hip. So you're here, you're switching, pushing under the hip, really driving. That's how you push yourself forward. So I'm gonna go 2 sets of each. So I'm gonna go single switches. So popping, popping, popping. I'm gonna add a little skip in between 2 as well. But if you're new to them, I'd recommend just doing it where you pop, hold it for a second, pop, hold it for a second. And then as you get better at it, you can start adding the skip. We'll go 10 yards, walk back, 2 of those, and then we'll go double switches. Now we're going 2 in a row, pop, pop, hold it, pop, pop, hold it for a second. As you get better, you can add that skip, 2 of those, and then we'll go 2 triple switches. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 2 of each, 6 total. I love doing these. Personally, just as an extended warm-up, really gets my hip flexors, glutes, hamstrings firing, but it kind of reinforces those sprinting mechanics of like really pushing under the hip and driving yourself forward. Because by no means am I an elite sprinter or have that great a form, but this has definitely helped throughout the years of doing this. And it's kind of just fun. It's a rhythmic thing to do. And I don't do a lot of rhythmic stuff in my training. It's kind of skillful. You come out here, you kind of feel like, I don't know, you feel, it gets you, it kind of makes you feel athletic before you get into more athletic stuff. So it's kind of like it's a win-win all around. So yeah, highly recommend the switches. All right, so finish the first part of the warm-up, the switches, singles, doubles, triples. Now we'll get into like some bounds, some alternate bounds, some straight leg bounds, and then some triple broad jumps. So kind of some plyos. I like doing this, kind of extending the warm-up. Now starting to get a little springy, doing some hops, some jumps, some bounds, all that. Continue to warm up before we get into the sprinting. So I'm just gonna go 20 yards for these first 2. Alternate bound, I'm gonna do 2 sets, 20 yards. It's almost like, I always think of like a deer running where you're trying to get horizontal and vertical. You're trying to punch off the ground, pop, pop, pop. We'll go 2 of those. And then we're gonna go 2 power skips. I call these Super Mario jumps. You're just trying to jump off one leg, trying to get as high as possible. Try to, touch your head to the sky. We'll go 20 yards of that, 2 sets. And then we'll finish with a straight leg build-up or straight leg bound, prime times. Nice straight leg, slight bend the knee, you're clawing back. On this, we'll go 30 yards. We'll go 2 of those. All right, warm-up complete. Now we'll get into like the triple broad jumps and the acceleration work. So triples, I like going 3 jumps in a row, punch, punch, punch. Try to get as far as I can with it. Goal is to try to get it around 10 yards, 30 feet. That's what I used to hit, but kind of not be hitting that recently. So hopefully get back to that. But anyways, 3 jumps in a row, punch, punch, punch. Now, if you're new to these, you could start by just doing 1 jump, reset, 1 jump, reset, 1 jump. And then as you get better at it, then you can start adding that continuous element. So we'll go 5 reps here. Oh, shit. Oh. All right, end up hitting 4 total jumps there. So pop, 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 3 in a row. Now we'll get into the sprint work. I'm gonna go 20s and 30s today. So thinking 4 20s and 3 to 4 30s. You know, I try to keep it when I sprint like total yardage. So if I do 4 20s, that's 80 yards. If I do 4 30s, that's another 120. That would be 200 total yards of distance. So I try to be in like the 180 to 240 range. Just a good guide. So obviously, you know, sprint training is all about max power. So it's not conditioning. We're just coming out here running a bunch of hundreds. You know, I'm running 20 yards, I'm resting 2 minutes. I'm running 30 yards, I'm resting 3 minutes. So taking my time in between, making sure I'm coming out nice and explosive. And that's what makes it fun. You know, it's a lot of standing around, but it's a max output that you just gotta drive in for. It's almost like powerlifting. Like if you're going hit some heavy singles on deadlifts, you know, you're not gonna hit a heavy single, rest 30 seconds, do it again. You're gonna take your time in between. So that's what we're doing today, fellas. You know, that's why it's nice being in a nice peaceful field. Take it all in, rip some sprints. Hell, pop the top. I'm about to pop top. Even though it's like 40 out, I'm boiling right now. It must be the pants. I'm not used to pants, man. Pants just get me so hot. That's why I wear shorts. Like, I mean, I probably look like a middle schooler because I wear shorts like pretty much all year, even in the wintertime. It's just, if I have a sweatshirt on and shorts, I feel perfectly fine because, you know, you get a little drift up the shorts to cool you down, but you're nice and warm up top. So that's what I typically do. But today we'll probably just pop the top. So 420s, 430s. Let's freaking rip. And no wind today. Look at this. Beautiful day out. All right, back from sprinting. Pre-workout meal here. We're in the corner of my kitchen because I'm trying to show all the ingredients on my tripod on me. But anyways, as far as this has been always usually one of my go-to pre-workout meals. 2 Greek yogurts, this mango chobani, absolutely money if you got access to it. Recently found these, delicious. 2 of these, 280 calories, 40 grams protein. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of honey, probably like 11 grams for some carbs. And then I also got a Honeycrisp, or actually a Pink Lady apple. Shout out Pink Lady, usually a Honeycrisp guy, but we're changing up and they got a banana. So here, it's about 80 grams of carbs, 40 grams of protein, only 7 grams fat. Obviously, that's key. Pre-workout, minimal fats, carbs, protein. That's key. So that's the food we got. And then as far as the pre-workout drink, which is my favorite thing, this has been my favorite combo, these 4. So we got a push day today. I want to get a fat pump. So we got the Replenish, which is just electrolytes, has a gram of sodium in it. So salt's obviously great for the pump. So we got that as the base, watermelon, and then also to help with the pump, we got the liquid glycerol. Serving of this helps retain water. Exquisite for the pump. This combo right here, absolutely lethal. And then to make it even better, because we want a fatter pump, we add in pump. This is my favorite product from Raw, the watermelon pump, my favorite flavor. This just has the beta-alanine, L-citrulline, add more of that. And then I also add in the Essential Pre, the raspberry creamsicle, 200 milligrams caffeine, and then some more beta-alanine, L-citrulline. So usually what I do is kind of have this as the base, and then depending on if I need caffeine, I'll add that. I've already had an energy drink or a bunch of caffeine throughout the day, but usually I have these 4 because caffeine, pump products, glycerol, and salt. So that's pre-workout stack. Eat this meal, drink this up, get to the gym, have a sick chest day. Let's rip. All right, at the gym now, about to hit this push day. To run through real quick, we are going to start with an incline dumbbell press. So going about a 30-degree incline. I like doing more of a low incline, usually anywhere between like 15 to 30 degrees, just a slight little incline, you know. Dumbbell incline, we'll go 3 working sets, 6 to 8 here. We'll go from here into a Smith machine seated overhead press, same rep scheme, 3 sets, 6 to 8. And then we're going to go a flat press machine. We're going to do a seated lateral or a lateral raise machine. We're going to go a pec deck, and then we're going to go 1 to 2 tricep movements. So essentially the structure I like doing on a push day is I like doing 3 chest movements, 1 sort of incline press, 1 sort of flat press and or dip, and then 1 sort of fly variation. For shoulders, I like doing some sort of overhead press variation, some sort of lateral raise variation. And then for triceps, I like doing either a push down or a skull crusher and a overhead extension. So that's kind of the structure I use, and then you can plug and play how you want. So like, you know, for today, for example, I'm going to go a dumbbell incline. I'm going to go a flat machine press, and I'm going to go a cable standing fly. Whereas maybe on another day I might do a barbell flat press, a incline machine, and then a seated pec deck. So you can plug and play how you like, but I like having that structure of picking 3 chest movements, flat, incline, fly, picking 2 shoulder, overhead press, lateral raise, and then a tricep, 1 to 2, and just plugging and playing. So most of these, I'll probably just go 3 working sets, one and 2 warm-up sets on the first 2 lifts, and then once I'm warm, usually just going straight into it. But really, right now, more of a high perch feet, so really trying to be in that 6 to 10 range, pushing it a little bit, and really focusing on just some quality sets. So let's rip it, boys. Oh, fellas, that was kind of funny. So my mic, the magnet part of my mic got stuck to the dumbbell in the first set, and I think on the way down, the magnetic fields or whatever was giving me some extra resistance because the magnet was on there, and then it felt like it was pulling down. I wanted to pull, and I had some extra resistance. So I don't know. We might have unlocked something in the lifting community. Maybe we start doing like you put little magnets on it. And as you come down, it'll want to pull towards the other magnet, and you got to resist it. So it adds resistance, more resistance at the bottom. I think we might be onto something. You add a little magnet, it pulls you more, and then you got to really push out the bottom. Fellas, it's $1 million idea right there. But yeah, it was kind of funny. The magnet stuck to it, and then on the way down, I definitely felt a little more resistance. But anyways, 130, got another set of 6. Hopefully take a long rest, 3 to 5 minutes. Goal is try to get 3 sets of 6. So I've got 6. I feel like I can get another set of 6. All these are 0 reps of reserve. Like I'm barely getting it. So I'm hoping I can get another one if I take a long enough rest. I feel like I can. But incline press, incline dumbbell. I'm not a big incline barbell guy. I love a flat barbell incline. I don't know. For some reason, incline barbell I've never been. Maybe because I'm just not as good at it. But dumbbell incline. Nothing better than a nice smooth dumbbell press. So get one more rep here. All right, movement number 2. This has been this is only the second time I've ever done it. But I did this last week and might be one of my new favorite overhead press variations. So it's just a Smith machine, seated press. But man, the shoulder pump on this is freaking outrageous. Also, you can lift some heavy weight because you're obviously in a Smith machine. Makes it a lot easier. But I don't know, I'm not a big fan of like a seated machine overhead press. They just never like configure to my body. I always feel like I'm way too in front, whereas I don't like a neutral grip on overhead press. I really like a overhand grip. That's just personal preference. So that's why I usually go a barbell, either a standing barbell, or now I'm probably gonna add this to the arsenal because this is a great feeling. Anyways, as far as the incline bench, we got it at like a 60-degree incline. So I never want to be all the way up, but obviously it's kind of in between like a 60 and 90 degree. So right here, try to keep the bar as close to possible right here. I always come to like the top of my chest or like at least below my chin and then really focus on driving up. So we'll go here, same rep scheme, like 3 sets, 6 to 8. I end up only getting 5 reps in that last set. So end up getting 6, 6, 5, but here we'll probably go same load scheme. Really focus on it. Ooh. Slap some wheels on, baby. All right, we'll go set 1 here. Weight-wise, last week I did like a 45, 25 out of 10. I was getting like 8 to 10, so I'm thinking I do 225. Well, I guess it's 220, because the bar on this Panada one, I believe is like 19 kilos, or it's like 18 kilos, so it's like 40 pounds. And I take the hooks off of it, so this one has the hooks where you can have it on with a bar. I said weighs nothing, but I always take it off. So bar, I think it's around 40 pounds, and then here, so 220, we'll see. Again, I like the Smith machine a lot, nice and smooth, and obviously a Smith machine, it's so easy to rack it if you fail. So yeah, goal here, same thing as an incline press, 3 sets, 6 to 8 range, we'll say 5 to 8 range essentially. I also like, if you see me lifting, I always like sticking with the same weight throughout, typically. If I'm doing like a 6 to 8 range, a 5 to 7 range, then I try to pick a weight where I can be like mid to top of that range. So I want to pick a weight where I could be around like 7 reps, and then maybe on a bad day I'm getting like 6, 6, 5, but always want to be on the upper end of the range. So then, you know, as you fatigue set 2 and 3 and you lose reps, then you're towards the lower end. So yeah, I'll go 3 sets here. All right, 6. Let's try it out. All right, third movement we're gonna hit, we're gonna go back to chest. So we did incline press, overhead press, now we're gonna go a flat press variation. I've used this machine a little bit, but it's super nice. It's an upright vertical press. You can really, they converge, they come together as you're pressing. I just did the first set and titties are pumped. I mean, it is a fantastic piece because you get super deep on it. Also, I kind of feel the overhand today. Usually I always go neutral grip a lot, but like I kind of like the overhand today. So obviously you can go either or on this, but I try to make it where I set it up. Now the hardest part is because this doesn't have one of those like things that push it out to start it. It's like the hardest part is getting it out, but I like to have it where it's like behind my chest, so I get a super deep range of motion. So I'm gonna go 3 sets here. Again, common theme, like 6 to 8 range. Stick with the same weight throughout. Just go in, essentially let's go 0 reps to reserve till failure each set. And then this will be our last pressing movement. Then we'll get into like more of the isolation accessory stuff. Get this pump continuing on. Vibes are sky high right now. Make sure you hydrate when you work out too. I know it's like literally the most like common thing ever, but I never drink water when I work out. I drink so much water before I work out that I forget to drink it when I work out. So honestly, that was more of a message to myself, but if you're like me and you forget to drink water, definitely is a performance enhancer to stay hydrated while you're working out. Especially like, I think it's easy too, like if you're lifting and you're not sweating a ton to like not drink water, but definitely helps a lot. So staying hydrated, we'll get set to dose here. Got all the pressing done. We got our incline press, our overhead press, our flat press. Now we'll hit some accessories. We'll go, this has been one of my favorite machines, just a standing lateral raise machine. 3 sets here. Now will probably be more like all those presses. I was essentially that 5 to 8 range. Now will probably be more in like that 8 to 10 range. Typically, that's how I go. Accessories more in that, especially more hypertrophy focus. More like just want to blow it up, get a good mind-muscle connection, get some extra volume in. So probably be around that 8 to 10. Here, recently I've actually been doing. I've been getting freaking science based, where I've been doing that little cuffed. You know, I've been feeling like a damn nerd out here, but it's definitely been working. But I'm just gonna go handles today. Just grab it like this, as opposed to the cuffs. But I will say the cuffs, those science-based guys are onto something with those cuffs. Those are pretty nice. It's just a process having to set it up. And honestly, I didn't really notice a difference. Like I usually get, with the same weight, I was getting like the same amount of reps. I will say, like, it's nicer. It doesn't feel like it's slipping out of my hands, but sometimes the cuffs are a little weird where like these move around and then like one's going this way, one's going that way. So I think this is just the best way to do it, just to hold on to it, because that's what it's made for. So 3 sets here, rip it. I'm really focusing on a slight pause at the top, controlled on the way down, trying to avoid shrugging, trying to be better with these lateral raises. So let's blow it up, boys. For flies today, this has been probably my favorite fly variation, just a standing cable fly, high to low. Usually I go pretty high. I'm not all the way bent over, but I'm kind of bent over a little bit, kind of in between like a mid and bent over, because I get such a good squeeze here, because I get really huge stretch, let it pull me back, and I can really focus on squeezing on this. So my go-to fly variations has either been this standing one or just a machine pec deck, because I feel like I get such a gnarly squeeze on it. So gonna go 3 sets here as well. Common theme, keep it at 8 to 10. Also, these handles, these prime handles are sick. I don't know, they're like thick at the top, which I know there's some science behind, like something with grip in it, like holding it helps with like connections and stuff, or like a better pump, I don't know. But anyways, it's cool piece of technology. But we'll go 3 sets here. Yeah, big stretch, big squeeze. That's what I'm thinking. Stretch, squeeze, squeeze. All right. Fuck. Oh, man. Whew. And last exercise of the day, we'll finish with a tricep isolation movement. So just gonna go overhead extension with the rope. Found one of the longer ropes, which I really like, because usually they're like half this length, but this one's super nice. You get a super deep stretch. So I just go behind the head, try to stay nice and upright. Try to keep the elbows kind of tucked in. They flare out a little bit, but really focus on squeezing at the top, getting a nice 4-range of motion. So we'll go 3 sets, 8 to 10 range. Keep it the same throughout. And I think that sometimes, like, one thing with rep schemes is like, I used to be someone who think I'd do all these unique rep schemes, like, and I do love unique rep schemes. There's time and place for them, like wave loading or descending reps, or, you know, these cluster sets, all that. But I used to think I'd do all these cool rep schemes. The basics work, man. 3 sets, 6 to 8 range is awesome. 8 to 10 range is awesome. 4 to 6 range, you know, that's what I like going now, especially if it's more like a hypertrophy bodybuilding focus, just like picking a rep range for the 3 sets, stick with the same weight, and then just going to failure or going 0 reps to reserve. So yeah, you don't have to get fancy with everything. Sometimes, you know, it looks cool on paper, but hey, the basics work. Just go hard on each set, repeat, do it again, do it for another exercise, just keep going. You know, don't overcomplicate it. So we'll go 3 sets here. All right, lift complete. Good overall session. So pretty basic, you know, push day, sprints, the main theme, just go hard. Don't overcomplicate it. You know, get too caught up in like the sets and reps and the exercise selection. I mean, obviously that is important, but it's not as important as just going balls to wall each set, pushing yourself. So intensity trumps all. And then you start getting in the flow of, okay, this exercise here, this exercise there, this sets and rep schemes. That's the main theme of it. So push day, sprints today. I noticed on my last video, like the split videos, whenever I make like a whiteboard video, it actually gets really good numbers. So I'll start making more of those, start making more like educational, going through splits, going through like my training background, going through just educational stuff. Of course, I'll still make the full workout vlogs, full day of eating vlogs, but I'll start making more of those because those seem to do well on the channel. But anyways, appreciate you guys. Stack the damn days. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.